The South African Civil Aviation Authority is today hosting women from across the country at the National Aviation Gender Summit. In its third installment, the summit at the Gallagher Convention Centre has been positioned to address the shortage of women in the aviation space and challenges faced by those in the sector. SABC News business reporter Katlego Legodi is covering the story for us. Let's cross to him live now. Katlego, very good morning to you. What are the ladies in aviation saying this morning?
A very good morning to you, Desiree. About 400 ladies and gentlemen, I must say, from the aviation sector have gathered here at the Gallagher Convention Centre this morning. They'll be here for the whole day, basically on that National Aviation Gender Summit underway. The summit, you rightly said so, it's in its third installment now, and it has seen captains of the industry and also key role players just gather here at the convention centre to iron out issues of gender disparities and challenges faced by women, those in the sector and those out of the sector, just around the issues of aviation. This is a very lucrative industry that contributes to about billions of rands into the industry and the economy of the country, and coming through at a time, I must say, Desiree, when the aviation sector has seen challenges from the COVID-19 pandemic, and those solutions will be ironed out today. We're expecting, of course, the Deputy Transport Minister, Sindisiwe Shikunga, to give a keynote address. She has just arrived here now, and the program is underway. But I'm going to bring into the conversation now Pindiwe Gwebu. She's the executive of the South African Civil Aviation Authority, who'll just let us in on what we can expect here. It's a hive of activity. The ladies are really excited to have gathered here from across the country to just iron out issues within the civil aviation sector. Welcome to the SABC. Let us in on what we can expect here today.
Today we have a very fully packed program. What we can expect is that we actually having the captains of the industry who are actually women leaders in aviation in their own right, and they will be sharing with the rest of the ladies in aviation, those critical issues that we're struggling with. Some of the things that they are going to be touching on is how are they addressing the pay gap that we see in the aviation industry? How are they addressing the issue of ensuring that we increase the number of women professionals and leaders as well. As you know, that the aviation industry is actually leading in this regard, in the sense that the CAA itself is led by a woman, Ms. Poppy Koza, and our airports company South Africa is also led by a woman who is Ms. Mpumi Mpofu, as well as our air traffic and navigation service, which is an entity within aviation led by Ms. Nozipho Mdawe. So we're doing quite well, and in fact, I think we're blessed because even from an aviation perspective, from a policy and political level, we are led by a woman, Ms. Sindisiwe Shikunga, who's our Deputy Minister. So we can expect that they will be addressing some of those issues. What ICAO says, that International Civil Aviation Organization, is saying is that aviation industry, we want you to improve the statistics of women in aviation by 50% by 2030. So it's a tall order, but we're getting there. And this is just one way to make sure that we are having those discussions. We are sharing programs in terms of how are other people getting it right? How are we making sure that in executive committees in aviation entities like our airlines, that we see women on top, but also dominating the agenda? What we're not looking for is just to have them at a grassroots level, but we also want to see them rising with the ranks, and also addressing those critical issues of, is the work environment actually conducive for women to grow, to develop in the industry? And because we know for a very long time, aviation has been very male dominated, and we are trickling in, but I must say South Africa is doing very well. And I think that also by us taking the call from ICAO in terms of hosting these national events, we started off by actually hosting the global event in Cape Town, just so that we can to demonstrate to the world how seriously South Africa takes the issues of gender equality in aviation.
Pindiwe Gwebu, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
That is the executive, of course, of the South African Civil Aviation Authority. You heard her mentioning the different ladies, the names of the ladies that are already here. I must say, our very own Nastasia Arendse is here as the facilitator of that program that is underway. We're expecting to hear from the Deputy Transport Minister, Sindisiwe Shikunga, who will give a keynote address here, address the ladies and gentlemen that are gathered here. We're also expecting to hear from Ms. Koza. She's the CEO of Swissport Airport. She'll be addressing some of the delegates here through a panel discussion. Also on the lineup is Mpumi Mpofu, the CEO of Airports Company South Africa, Nozipho Mdawe, Air Traffic Navigation Services. We also have Ms. Carla De Silva, who's the Executive Manager of Airlink. Those are the ladies, key industry ladies, role players in the civil aviation sector, and they'll be just addressing some of those ladies here and just giving them tips really on how you can actually survive and navigate through the very largely male-dominated aviation industry. This is a very lucrative industry, I must say, that contributes immensely to the country's economy. Desiree?
Katlego, of course, you will bring us all of that detail as it happens. It's also one of the industries that was really affected during the COVID lockdown, and I wonder if this conversation will flow into those conversations taking place there.